Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another fun-filled, action-packed flip geometry classroom video with Coach Gu. That's me. And you know what, guys? It's crazy because when you wake up in the morning, sometimes there are just those questions you wish you knew the answer to. You're like, man, why is the sky blue? Dang. How do you actually use those ketchup cup holder things that they give you to in the restaurants? And another big one is, how do you find the area of a parallelogram? And today we're going to be learning how to. Oh my goodness. So get hyped. Area formulas. This unit 9, is all about area, surface area, things like that. So here we go. Today, we're just going to learn a bunch of different formulas for finding areas of different shapes. So let's jump right into this, starting with areas formulas. Hint, check this out. The height of the figure is always perpendicular to the base. They make an L. So wherever your base is, the height is going to be look, if my base looks like this, the height is going to be perpendicular, makes an L. Look at that. Bam, perfect. Okay, anyways, first up, we got the triangle. The area of a triangle is area equals half of the base times height, or base times height over 2. Base times height over 2. So check this out. I'm going to do an example with you. The base, look at that, is the whole base of the triangle. The height is h right there. So let's do an example. I'm going to do the we do. So the base on this triangle over here is 29.5. Can you see it? That's the base. 29.5. So I'm going to use that. 29.5 times, what's the formula? Times height. Where's my height? Look at that. They drew it in for me. It's 14. And both of these are inches, okay? And then the formula was over 2. So I'm going to set all this into my equation, put it in the calculator, and that's 206.5. And what you need to do here to label, you see it's inches times inches. That makes inches squared. All right, inches squared. If you do not put that, then you're not doing it right. 206.5 inches squared. So let's see the next one. Parallelogram. Here we go. So the parallelogram, all we have to do is area equals base times height. The base times the height. So, for example, you can see the base and the parallelograms right there. The height they drew right there. So let's take a look. The we do. The base right here, 3.7 kilometers. The height, 10.5 kilometers. So I'm going to plug both those numbers in. Base, 3.7 times the height, 10.5. Put that in the calculadora. Equals 38.9. And what's my units going to be? It's going to be kilometers. Just kilometers. No, kilometers squared. Kilometers squared. There you go. And you guys try the parallelogram right next to that one that says you do. Moving on, trapezoids. Oh my goodness, this one looks a little confusing. So on the trapezoid, it's going to be half of the height times the sums of both the bases. Base 1 plus base 2. So how does this look? I'm going to show you in an example. So take a look at the we do. What's the height right here? It's 16. It's 16. Don't look at this weird line right there. That's not perpendicular to the base. This over here, 16, is perpendicular to the base. So the formula was 1/2 times the height, which is 16, times, what's base 1? Doesn't matter which one I choose. I'll pick this one, 27. 27 plus, where's my other base? Up here, 19. Because trapezoids always have 2 bases. So now we plug all this into the calculator. So 27 plus 19, let me simplify it. 1/2 times 16 times 27 plus 19, that's going to be 46. So put this into the calculator and you get 368. And what are my units here? Look, centimeters. It's going to be centimeters squared. Nice. All right, so you guys try the one on the right side. Now be careful. They kind of made the trapezoid look funny, but you got to flip it to where the height and the base 1, base 2 are all seen. And now onto our second to last one, the kite. All right, so on the kite, this works for rhombi 2 now. So this is like a 2 for 1 special. What a deal. So you're going to take 1/2 and multiply that by the product of the 2 diagonals. So look at our picture. We got 1 diagonal right there and then 1 diagonal over here. We multiply those 2 diagonals and then multiply that by 1/2. So let's take a look at an example. Looking at this we do right here. What's the length of one of my diagonals? One of them is 9 plus 9. That's going to be 18. So 18 times, what's the length of my other diagonal? That's 5 plus 18. That's 23. And then we multiply that by the 1/2. So times 1/2. And then we just plug that straight into the calculator, and that's going to be 207. And what are my units? We need to get these units right, guys. Meters squared. Meters squared. So you try the one on the right side. And then last but not least, the circle. The circle. Oh my goodness. There's 2 ways to write the circles because sometimes we ask you to leave the area in terms of pi. And sometimes we ask you to just round it to the 10ths and give us that answer. So watch this. The formula is pi r squared. Now remember that the area of a formula is pi r squared. We're going to be using that one a lot. So r is the radius or half of the diameter. So let's take a look at the we do. The diameter is 23. 26. So what's my radius? That's half of the diameter. It's going to be 13. So all we have to do is take pi, multiply that by the radius, which is 13, and then square the 13. Well, what is 13 squared? 13 squared is 169. So this would equal 169 pi. So if I'm going to leave my answers in terms of pi, it would be 169 pi. And what are my units? Yards squared. Area is always squared. 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 And now if I were to round my answer, like if I plug into the calculator 169 pi and then I press the enter button, it's going to give me 530.9. You got to know how to round. 0.9 yards squared. And that is it. So you guys try the one on the right side. They're trying to trick you. They would be a little tricky here because look, we know the formula for the whole circle is pi r squared and they want half of a circle. So keep that in mind when you're trying to find the answers for this one on the right side. But that's going to be the end of our first section of notes for Unit 9, talking all about area. We learned how to do the triangle, the parallelogram, the trapezoid, the kite, which works around by 2, and circles. Oh my goodness, so fun. So I'll see ya in the next one. Peace!